Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
Well, I feel distinguished.
I know. Look, when I see this, it made me think that we need to get us some cups.
Indeed.
They got Black Man Think on it. That'll be to do the sip of the week on.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom. Any cup manufacturers,
We need
this is an
those.
opportunity right here. There you go. All right, man. Look, welcome to the Black Man Think podcast, where we elevate our black man because black man be out here thinking. I am last name good, aka JD. To my left, I got the homie.
Hey, yo, it's Motown, y'all know.
To his left,
Corey.
It's Corey. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, do all of that good stuff. And also, if you want to be a part of the podcast, make sure you give us a call, leave a voicemail for our Ask a Black Man segment, 404-939-6477. Once again, 404-939-6477. Call, leave us a voicemail, keep it 60 seconds or less. If we like what you say, we will have you on the podcast. So, sip of the week, fellas.
It's still January, so
Actually, February. We
you're right.
yeah,
I'm tripping.
February.
It is February.
We're extending it, but home's hydration. Got a little tea.
Salute.
Yeah, a little tea action going on.
Take a sip.
Okay.
Flavorful. Flavorful. What's this? This is was like a green tea type of honey-ish.
Yeah, well, it's a green tea. I added some honey in there.
Okay.
This is a One Love blend that he got.
They're pretty good right here.
It is. Yeah, it's One Love blend. So like Home's Hydration, they're more than just a tea. I'm reading this. Oh, if we didn't tell y'all, this is an ad. So salute to the Black Man Think podcast. We got to add people. So, hey, Home's Hydration is more than just tea. It's a journey of wellness and intentional living, deeply rooted in cultural tradition. So each one of their handcrafted blends is thoroughly created to nurture your body, mind, and soul. I like how that read.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? To all of our thinkers out there, go to homeshydration.com, use the promo code BlackManThink, and receive $5 off on your order. Homes Hydration. So that is HOLMES hydration. That's a long word. I'm gonna spell it out for you. HYDRATION.com. We'll also leave it in the show notes so you can click the link. But you go there, use our promo code BlackManThink, all together, one word, for $5 off on your order. We would appreciate it if y'all go there. It helps us out. Y'all make us look good. Y'all go and support Homes Hydration. All right,
Appreciate
so
that, Holmes. Good stuff right here, man.
yeah, it is. It's really good, man. Homeboy, check in, man. How everybody been? What y'all life been like?
Man, I just want to shout out Uncle C, man. Hey, me and the wife got in a pinch. The child care fell through. Put out a call. Uncle C came through, boy. Hey, came through, hung out with the kids for a few hours. How was it, Uncle C?
It was an experience, man.
He said it was
Much
an
respect
experience.
to people with kids, man. Especially multiple kids.
They didn't time up this time, so that was good. But man, hey, I appreciate it. We
Ain't
needed
no
that.
problem, man. Happy anniversary.
It wasn't the anniversary. We'll take it.
We will take it. Hey,
Yeah.
bro. Can I tell y'all about my week?
Go ahead, bro.
So,
Safe space.
yes, safe space. So, had my annual appointment. And for those that don't know, I am what you call a hard stick when you go to getting your
Lab work.
lab work done. I'm
Explain.
a hard stick. So a hard stick is it's hard to draw blood.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay, yeah. I'm
but-
gonna tell you why in a minute, but go ahead.
So my hard stick, hard to draw blood. I have what's called rolling veins. So for those that don't know what that is, a rolling vein is basically you think you got a vein. They put the needle in to get the blood. My vein be like, Nope.
Gone.
Nope. It's just they roll. They roll or they jump, they move out the way. So in the past 3 days, forget about the day we're recording, but the first day I went, I saw 2 different people. I got stuck 4 times.
Digging your arm.
2 times at each arm, no blood. I was like, you know what? 4 times, that's my, I'll come back tomorrow. Came back the next day, 3 people, 4 sticks. 2 times in one arm.
That's crazy.
1 time in one arm, 1 time in the hand. No blood. I'm talking about, bro, they sticking me, ain't no blood coming out. And, everybody try to tell me like, oh, no, you need to drink more water. I was like, look, I know y'all doing y'all job, but I'm just here to let y'all know. 90% of what I drink is water. I don't drink a lot of juice. I don't drink sodas like that. I'll drink alcohol socially. The majority of what I drink, water. I'm not dehydrated.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with this for the past 15 years. I'm telling y'all what it is.
It's like every year for you.
In fact, it should be on y'all file. Y'all should just notate that I'm a hard stick. When I tell you in the last 10 to 15 years, I can count on 2 fingers how many times that I've been there and I got stuck once and I got blood drawn.
Yeah.
I'm used to getting stuck at least 2 times. Like it's just a normal thing for me. So no blood drawn, second day at the doctor's office. I was like, bro, I'm gonna have to go to Quest. So I go to Quest. I get there this morning. I tell the lady, I was like, look, it's been 2 days. I've been stuck 8 times. I'm a hard stick. I'm hydrated. I go through everything because now I got like trauma, anxiety, all the isms and everything. I'm like, look, I'm trying to let y'all know. I know what's like. Don't give me the medical spiel of, oh man, you need to drink more water, man. You dehydrated.
Yeah.
Like, no, fam. Like, it's none of this. She was like, don't worry about it. I worked with kids. I worked with prisons. You're a hard stick. Your veins probably rolling, huh? I was like, I'm dealing with a professional here. She already knows what's going on.
She pulled a machete out. So I'm going to get their blood.
She was like, you know what? Let me go and get a butterfly needle. She went and got a butterfly needle.
What is that?
It's basically it's just the way it's shaped. It's not like straight. It's kind of like it's curved a little bit or whatever.
Interesting.
She go and get the butterfly needle. And that actually I might be telling you the wrong information. Don't quote me on that. It's a different needle.
It's a different needle.
Yeah.
I got you. I ain't even
she go and get it. She sticks me 1 time. Nothing happened. She was like, hold on 1 second. She pressed down on my arm, stuck me again.
Good.
Blood started coming out. We having a conversation. I only see her take out 1 tube. I was like, that's all you need for? She's like, oh no, man, I got all 3 tubes.
Yeah. That she
I was like, okay, what's your name? Okay. If I have to tell them that I'm coming to see you, I'll come and see you. But she was like, no, I understand. She was like, you well hydrated, your blood flowing great. They just didn't stick you in your veins, so ain't no blood gonna come out. That's just how it go. And I was like, okay, I need to talk to you from now on out because evidently the other people working at the doctor's office, they used to people with veins protruding. And they're just like, oh, there go your vein. So yeah, long story short, I don't got stuck 10 times in 3 days.
Bro, that'd be the worst, bro.
Yeah, worse.
My wife, she told me though, she tried to help me out because that I'm not as extreme, but I'm the type where I kid you not, I had surgery on my stomach and it was like an outpatient type of thing. I was awake and I wanted to see. I was like, put a mirror right there. I want to watch. I do the same thing when I go get, my blood drawn or whatever it is. I'm looking, and my wife finally told me, she was like, that's why they have to keep sticking you because, by the time it's, the second person coming in or they digging in my arm and I'm getting poked and stuff like that. She was like, it's because you're looking at it. She's like, your body automatically clenches up. She's like, even though you think you're fine, you're not scared of a needle and all that kind of stuff, it's like your veins are just going to move. She was like, so look away, try to think about something else. And I tried it. I think I was still like tripping the first time I tried it. And then the next time I did it, I just started thinking about Kobe Bryant highlights in my head and just like look away. One thinking about it, next thing I know, the lady, she done too, Yeah. So for me, that's my fix. But that's crazy.
No, I'm gonna use that because I haven't had that. This was the first time I've had this experience where it was just like 3 days in a row going to get blood drawn and fasting for an extended period of time. All this. So, but I'm gonna try that and just try to, think about something else.
Yeah. It's like a natural body reaction where, I don't know. I mean, I guess I might be over explaining it, but it's almost like if you see an accident coming, like your body's going to react to it, and in some kind of way, shape, or form, your veins or whatever it is going to move. So
yeah, I've heard something like that with people. Like people who fall asleep at the wheel tend to survive accidents more than the person who was awake. Oh, because the person awake tense up,
exactly.
Try to be preventative, but the person that sleep, their body just limber and can react to that. So it can't react to it like somebody that's up. Like you up,
yeah.
You end up putting. So yeah, I've heard that. But yeah, man, that's been my week, bro. Like it's just. I've learned this week that I have a real anxiety with getting my blood drawn, going to the doctor, getting labs. Like I feel because I have what's called white coat syndrome as well, where like my blood pressure elevates when I like get my blood pressure taken.
Yeah.
It'll be times though my blood pressure be like 160.
Yeah.
And then the doctor be like, "Oh, hold on." And then I tell him like, "No, they say I got white coat."
Yeah.
They'll take it again. It'll drop down to like 140. Then she'll say, "Lay down."
And then
lay down. Oh, okay, your blood pressure's fine. Like, yeah, you're nervous, and I didn't know it. I didn't know that because I didn't feel nervous, but yeah, I have like real anxiety going to the doctor, bro. Like, didn't even. So I don't know. My wife said we're gonna get a blood pressure machine, just like get one off Amazon, or something just to have at the house.
Yeah,
it kind of just started to ease my mind of it because. Yeah, bro, it's just like, didn't even realize that stuff be happening for real, but it's there. So,
so something that's why some men don't even go. They just don't go all together because they let it scare them away, which, you shouldn't. But like for the veins, for me, I usually be good, but when you start pumping on biceps, man, them veins might just start popping out. They won't be rolling because the muscles block.
Hey, there you go, dog. Hey, I'm with you, dog. He basically said I got to hit the gym hard.
That's what he said.
I feel you. I do. Well, I'm in the gym, but I got to get to the weights, dog. I be feeling like my upper body be weaker than my lower body.
It could be, man.
Like my lower body, I can, but upper body, like I'm stuck on, like my max bench right now. Max is like, what's 245s on each side? 90. Plus 45, 225.
Yeah.
That's like max, but that's like 3 and then leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? I can't do a lot of reps on that. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like my arms be feeling weaker, bro. I don't know what that is. I don't know why. Like, I don't know.
Just stay consistent, man.
Yes, push-ups, dog.
Drop the weight, just do more reps.
Just do more. Yeah, there you go. You gonna train me, dog?
Nah, I'm not trying.
Man, you in the gym?
I just watch what other people do, and I just try to do it.
Respect.
I still ain't hit y'all boy that little free pass yet, dog. I'm still waiting on it.
What free pass?
Yeah, LA Fitness, bit.
No, you can get. We can
What a
get
guest
you in.
pass at, dog?
I don't do that. Do they still do that?
Yeah,
You tell me, you
guest
know.
pass.
I pay.
No, but on the real
right
talk,
now.
you should look into your job, though. More than likely, there's some type of program. Like they'll have a program there that's ask about active and fit.
Okay.
Or so I think it's active and fit. But like I found out a lot of companies have it, but it like falls up under that program of it's not something that they tell everybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that the small line of benefits. So it'll be
I'll check that out.
But yeah, I did that when I was
around
still
the
working with
gym.
the gig. And I signed up, I got like LA Fitness, $24 a month national. For like and no initiation fee, no cancellation fee.
I might be able to come up.
$24 a month, dog. Any LA Fitness in the country that I want to go to, and that's like that's better than their deal. I think their best deal at LA Fitness might be like $30 a month or something like that for national. Or maybe 35, but yeah, $24 a month, bro.
I like it.
We want to get into it though, Mo. You posed a great topic.
Yeah. Just a question, man. Like, really, for all of us, for the thinkers, for all our black men, for all of our listeners out there, like, how do you know you hearing God? Are you hearing God? And like, if so, what do you do with it? Like, what does it sound like? Because I think a lot of people feel like they're hearing things, and sometimes we just second guess. And I just started wondering, like, man, what is y'all experience? Like, have you ever felt like you heard him talking to you directly, or like what is it like when you feel like you hear God?
For me, I think that's been a question I've asked like myself before, but even asking myself the question and reading different things about that same topic, from what I've learned is like you can tell if it's in line with the Word of God. That's one of the main things. And another thing I saw was like if you want to hear God speaking to you, read His Word. Those are ways. But to have a specific example, and I think I told y'all about this before. So I was dating this girl, well, kind of, sort of. And so I was just kind of confused about her, about like how things are going. I won't get in too much detail because she might be listening. But no, so I was just kind of like, man, I'll never forget. I always use this example, man. I was in the shower one night and I was just praying about like, I don't know, where it's going. Like, I just need some kind of direction. Man, I kid you not, had to be like within the next day or two, something happened where some extracurricular activity was going on, bro.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind, like how quick, I got the answer. I mean, it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah.
But that's a specific example that I remember. I prayed about something and I was shown immediately.
Yeah.
As far as the answers I was trying to get. But yeah, I mean, it's just if what you're hearing, if it's in the line with, with the Word of God and how you hear Him through His Word, that's pretty much. And a lot of times you have to get self out of it because your mind can play tricks on you. Like you think you hearing from God, and it's like, man, is that God speaking to me, or is that me within myself talking to myself?
Yeah.
So I mean, it can be one of those things, but I feel like if you really searching for it, you're gonna get the answer.
Yeah.
So you feel like for you it was more like almost like a sign or something like that took place that you kind of experienced.
Yeah, and confirmation too, because sometimes I have this thing where, and I've been doing it more often lately. If somebody crosses my mind, I'll text them, or usually text if they're a person who texts, or if they're older, I'm gonna call them just to see how they're doing. And I did that to a family member. Man, kid you not, like probably about 3 days ago. Just he crossed my mind. I text him like, "Hey, how you doing? Checking on you, this, that, and the other." And he was like, "Man, I'm so glad you did that, man. One of my friends just lost her 9-year-old son, and I really needed that. I think the funeral was that same day." And I was like, man, it was just one of those things where it's like I feel it within. Something that was confirmation for me. Like, maybe that was God's way of saying, "Hey, continue to do that because you never know who you reaching out to somebody, how that can change their whole day or whatever."
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, bro?
Yeah, man, I've had several different experiences. I think I've shared on the pod before, but just like hearing from God, I've had it like in several different ways. Like in some way, what I've noticed is most of the times when that confirmation that I've heard from God is like through conversations with other people.
Okay.
So there's been times where I've had conversations with somebody and completely forget about the conversation. And that person will come back to me at a later time and just like, "Yo, you remember we was talking about such and such?" And like, I'd be like, I remember us talking, but I don't remember what, I don't necessarily exactly remember the conversation. It was just like, bro, I just want to let you know, man, like that conversation changed my life. Like I had been praying on something and I had that conversation with you, and like we immediately, like I pivoted something. I was just like, kind of dumbfounded because I'm just like, number one, I don't necessarily remember the entire conversation. And so like, it used to be times where I would joke with that and say like, "Yo, is that God speaking through me?" Or like, I don't want to take credit for that, but I don't remember me telling a person to do this or do that. It's just like we having a conversation just like we having right now, and something will happen. Times where God has spoken directly to me, I feel it's there's been times like I've legit had that fear, because it's been times where things will happen to where I get like a a burning sensation, and it's usually like through dreams.
What you like a burnt? What do you mean?
Like-
Describe that.
There's been times, like specifically, I'll say it's been like 3 or 4 times where I would, not knowing that I'm dreaming, like, of course, you know how dreams are, like, you think they're real and then you wake up and it's a dream. But the difference that I've noticed when I have that type of dream, I have a feeling of like, I don't know, it's the only thing, it's just like I feel it. It's like a feel, a more of a feel than like a, you know, like you'll have a dream and then you wake up and it's like, oh, that was a dream. When I have those types of dreams where I wake up and I immediately, like, so that time when I called you, that time when, like with my brothers and my uncle, those dreams, I woke up with it felt more like a presence, if that makes sense. Like I describe it as like a burning, tingling thing, but it felt more like a presence where it's just like, yo, I don't know what that is, God, but I'm just going to pick up the phone, call whoever I need to call or whatever. And then like I would just outwardly express that and do that. And then I kind of like leave it at that. And I don't find out until later that certain things meant certain things. So, but the one thing that I don't get like there might be times where like I'm praying and like I'm waiting. God don't usually speak to me like that. Like if I'm like praying, like if I'm sitting here praying for something, whatever it is, and just like the stillness and kind of like waiting, I usually don't get like clarity in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It'll happen maybe like down the line, but in those moments of like stillness, I usually don't get like the God-like moments, if that makes sense. Like that don't usually happen for me like that. And if it does, maybe it does, and I just don't recognize it. You know what I'm saying? But those have been the times where I experienced God the most. And then there's also just been times where it's just kind of like what Corey was saying, where it's just like something tells you to move and do, and then you just move and do, and then you end up finding out later that shifted something. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. I try to do what I think is right. And if like, I don't know how this, I think my personal thing is like, I think too many times and I say we, I'm talking about just people in general, like we try to do God's job. And then I think that's where we end up going wrong, as opposed to just like, yo, God is going to do what he going to do anyway.
Yeah.
You're just there to, I wouldn't even say like help facilitate. You're just there to be light in whatever situation is there. And so I found that I'm usually light in more dark situations. And so I just like, all right, use me that way. Because I don't usually get that instant, yo, Lord, I need to like get clarity on A, B, and C. It usually don't come like clarity on A, B, and C just like that. It don't usually work for me that way. So
yeah, no, I appreciate y'all sharing that. That's interesting, man. I don't know, man. It's just been like on my mind lately. Like, how do I know I'm hearing him? And then I started really trying to pay attention to exactly when I know or when I feel like I know. And 9 times out of 10 for me, like it is when it is silent. Like, and the only time that I've realized for me that it happens is when I wake up in the middle of the night. Like I might, and anything could wake me up. Like I could need to go to the restroom, or I could had a dream or something like that. Like even last night, what kind of sparked this? Like last night I had a dream that woke me up, and I was just laying there in the bed, and it's weird because it's just like I just start hearing a conversation come towards me, you know? And I guess if I'm like really being detailed about it, like it sounds like me, but it's not me.
yeah.
You know, it's just a voice that's like having a real conversation, and I'm sharing back, and it's a dialogue that's taking place. And then at a certain point, it's like I'm awake enough where I'm realizing like, okay, this is a moment, you know? And it's like last night, and I'll just share what was happening. It was like I was just asking questions because lately random people have just been coming up and just like affirming me, bro. Like I might not even be thinking about nothing, not necessarily like wrestling in my brain about whether I'm on point with this or not, or whatnot. And folks are just coming up and saying like, "Hey man, I just want to tell you, bro, man, you've been doing blah blah blah, like excellent, man. Just keep it up. Like we need that. We blah blah, and it's just crazy." And it's been happening for like the last 3 weeks, nonstop. And so in the middle of the night last night, I wake up and that's the first thing that hits my mind. Mind you, the dream is completely different than, my dreams are very visual too. And that's a whole nother conversation. They are very real. Like I feel everything in my dream. Like it is, my dreams are always real, like really intense and really real. But when I woke up, like that was the first thing in my mind. And I was like, why am I hearing so much affirmation now? And then I heard a voice like immediately responds. It was like, because you're going to need it in the next season. You're going to need to know exactly who you are in the next season. It's not that you don't have an idea of that now, but you need to be in a space where you have no doubt about it. That's why I'm spending time affirming you right now. And then it continued, and it was just like, you see me now in this next season, you're not going to see me as much, but you're going to be sure of my presence. It was pretty intense, and typically, like when I look through my life, it's been in those moments of stillness, of like nothing else going on, where it's just clear. And then I feel like there's this dialogue that takes place. What was crazy last night is just like I had more questions, and then I heard him say like, "Why are you not asking me the questions?" And I was like, "I don't know." And then he was like, "You ask not because, or you have not because you ask not." So I was like, "All right." And so I asked the question, answered it, and it was just a moment, And so I was sitting there like just kind of thinking about it like, man, like I wonder if people really feel like they're hearing. Do they feel like they hear through other people? And I'm sure there's like God speaks in so many different ways in different times in our lives. But like this was just on my heart. I was like, man, I want to make sure like people in this day and age where we are in an era of messaging that comes out so fast, false messages. I mean, we talk about social media and how I can't even think of the terms I'm trying to use now, but basically like the accuracy of things aren't even required anymore.
Right.
And we see it on our feeds. Like our feed can now feed us whatever it wants to, AI. It's so many different things. And I'm just like, man, at the end of the day, we are bombarded with messaging all day long.
All day, bro.
More importantly, like how we know what we listening to when we're not scrolling or something like that. Like what's actually, like, are we hearing God, And I'm just like, man, I wonder if our thinkers really are just kind of flowing through life. Or are they like slowing down enough to be like, am I hearing what I need to hear?
Yeah.
That's why it's like, having the word, if it, things line up with the word. Because it's just like, you ever, like, maybe it's been a scripture, a passage or something that's just been sticking with you. Then you go to church and then that, you have no idea what the sermon is. And it goes back to that same passage or whatever. So it's a lot of times, man, it's like, and I'm sure everybody, especially if anybody, Christian or in the word or whatever, they go through times just like this. Because I mean, it's you kind of confused because you don't know. But I always think like, if you pray about it, like, God, I don't know if I'm, hearing from you, I'm hearing from myself. Just show me, And it can be the simplest things to give you confirmation of what you've been praying for. And, I think God has a way of showing you. Even when at times when I don't know if it's you or if it's myself, I think he got a way of just showing you somehow, some way. And then when it hits you, you can be like, oh, I see now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what you said, Mo, like the importance of slowing down. Because I know me, I don't slow down enough. I'm trying to get better with the slowing down. But I think that's super important, bro. Like just the slowing down of life and not really getting caught up in the everyday of life. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got like wife, kids, job, it's so easy. Like if we keep it a buck, bro, it's 2025.
Yeah.
I feel like we was just in 2024. Like seriously. Like, and I know people say that all the time, but like 2024 went by so fast. And time goes by so fast to the point where you don't realize until I'll share something personal. Before y'all got here, well, before you got here, Mo, Corey came in and he showed me a thumb drive. Like he said, like, bro, I found some footage on a hard drive. It was like, it's all your stuff. I don't know how it got here, whatever. And like, we're looking through videos. So that I saw pictures and videos of like, not only just like my immediate family, like my mom, my dad, my brother and sister. I got stuff on there with like cousins, my grandmother, just all kind of footage.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking through this stuff and I'm just like, bro, I remember this like it was yesterday.
That's crazy.
And most of that stuff was like what we talk about. You said 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's when you put it on. But that,
I mean, but so, but I'm
Probably.
saying at least most of that stuff at least 10 years
Yeah,
ago.
at
Like
least a decade.
one of my cousins, she's in college now, and she was on there
Yeah.
as a like having like a second or third birthday party. She's at college, so that's at least 15, 16 years ago. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just like, man, time moves so fast that we have to learn to slow down and like really appreciate where we are in the moment in that time. And I think when we do that, we probably will be able to hear from God a little bit more when we're slowing down and just not, because everybody's on this pursuit to get, we're on a pursuit to get somewhere where God is like, fam, you could have been there 10 years ago if you just stop and listen to what I'm trying to.
Yeah.
We put ourselves through so much, and I don't necessarily think that some of that stuff, I think a lot of that stuff may be self-inflicted as opposed to like the direction that God may want you to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I truly believe that God will say like, me and God can both have our idea of where we want to be at on like from A to B. But when we start doing it ourselves, we go here, we go there, here, all these other places. And like, it could have been so simple if we just took the time to slow down and like listen to God. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and I feel like the honest part about it too is sometimes we don't want to hear them. Like I've been in times where honestly I didn't want to hear because I already knew what he was gonna say.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you want to do your own thing, you want to just keep moving in a certain direction and whatnot. But that, and I feel like God is patient, you know, and I feel like He walks with us in a way that is very personalized. But at some point in some time, you're gonna need to hear, you know. And yeah, I don't know. For me, it was just he tends to interrupt me, and I say me in very like figuratively, like me is in my agenda,
yeah.
you know. But I realize like more consistently these days, that's like night. Like that's when I can't sleep, I wake up, and then He's like, "Oh, there you are.
I got you now.
I got you now. So let's catch up." Boom, 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 boom. You know. And last night was one of those moments. It was one of them ones where I was like, okay, this one right here is
It's intense.
this one gonna set up the next however many so years and experiences or whatnot. So
Yeah, that's good.
it's just on my thoughts, man. Yeah.
and maybe that's and it's your quiet time too, because you know you work. Anything else outside of work, kids,
You
your
seen
wife.
the kids, you know that?
Yeah. So at that time, everybody, I mean, the wife sleep, the kids sleep. So
Yeah.
that got your undivided attention.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. Ask a Black Man. So this is a segment on the show where we hear from our thinkers, you guys, right? So if you want to be a part of that, go ahead and give us a call, 404. I try to remember the number off the top of my head. 404-939-6477.
Check you.
Is that it? 404-939-6477.
939. He got it.
Y'all call that, leave us a voicemail, keep it 60 seconds or less. We'll play it on the pod, and we'll answer the question to the best of our ability. We're not experts. We're just Black men who be out here thinking.
That
You
part.
know what I'm saying? Here we go. We'll play the voicemail.
Peace, good brothers. First, thank you for having this platform. my question is, I am in the co-parenting space, right now. So my question for you all, if anyone has gone through this, when the other parent isn't delivering where they should be, how do you help salvage the relationship between the child and that other parent, as that child's getting older and they're not doing what they should be? One of the toughest things someone ever told me is it's hard when the person that you have your biggest challenges with is your child's best friend.
Huh. So just to be clear, he's basically asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, how do you manage a relationship with another co-parent? Is that correct?
In a nutshell,
Okay.
I'm gonna read off too. So yeah, how do you co-parenting situation, and like that parent is not necessarily delivering the way that they need to be.
Gotcha.
Like, how do you salvage that relationship, especially when your child best friend is the parent, the other parent, the co-parent.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, and this is the way I'm interpreting it. Long story short, respectfully, I'm just going to say this respectfully, just in layman's terms, you and your baby mom not doing the best.
Yeah.
In the co-parenting space. That person
has won the child over.
Fully. But you know that they're not doing the best job that they can possibly be doing.
Yeah.
But the child don't see that because,
right,
that's mom. And mom is my best friend. So
yeah,
that's a delicate situation.
It is. I've seen this play out a few times in a few different scenarios. It's tough because the child is the innocent piece, right? Like they are in the middle, in the sense, unwillingly, not unwillingly, not even knowing, not knowingly is really what I mean.
Right.
They're in the middle of, for lack of a better term, some form of a war, or at least a broken relationship or tension. And at all costs, and let me paint this other picture. 9 times out of 10, somebody might be taking advantage of that. 9 times out of 10. As that person that potentially is, whether you're more mature, more aware, whether you might see that connection is not healthy, I think first and foremost, you have to do your best to remove your personal out of the situation for the sake of the child. You got to protect the child at all costs. And I don't mean removing the child from that other relationship. I mean, that child does not need to interface with the tension that you have with that other adult. That's something that you have to figure out with that other adult. And it's going to take some very intentional conversations. I would say very conversations where you need to make sure that you're prepared, right, to have a hard conversation, but at the same time carry yourself in a way where you're not adding fuel to a fire. Even if there's no cooperation, there's a way that you can manage yourself, right? And at the end of the day, you got to make it about how do we coexist for the betterment, for the best version of our child, and we can figure us out after that. That's my personal opinion.
Do you think this is a situation where you have to sit both of them down together, or do you need to have an individual conversation first before doing that?
I think it's hard to sit them both down together because this child is unaware of, 9 times out of 10, unaware of that tension.
Yeah.
And I think if you try to sit them both down together, you automatically might be painting a negative image of that other adult.
Gotcha.
That child doesn't need to hear from you, and that actually might backfire on you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, especially if the other adult has won the trust of the child, or at least you feel like they have a better relationship. So, in my thoughts, y'all have to come to terms with how we are going to raise this child.
Yeah.
What are our boundaries? Even if me and you don't have it figured out, that has to be like the centerpiece of it all, and it has to not be about the two of you. It has to be about that child.
Yeah.
I think that is honestly a doorway to selflessness, because obviously there's probably some hurt, there's probably some pain, there's probably some personal feelings about whatever interactions the adults are having in this situation.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, that's got to take a back seat. And if you put the focus on the child, that actually may open up an empathetic lens for both adults to be able to function in a way. And if it stops at that, cool. And all you can do is hope and pray for the best in terms of like, maybe that opens up a doorway where we can begin to see eye to eye on some other things. And I don't know. It's a hard situation.
I mean, I think it's a very tough situation, man. I think, for one, conversations have to be had. Tough conversations have to be had. But in this scenario, because of course, we only got one side to go off of, but it seems like in this scenario, the other parent is kind of stuck on like, no, this is how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And so I feel like y'all have to have a real honest conversation that may need to require a mediator of some sort.
Good
Somebody
point.
that don't know either one of y'all. Because you going in there by yourself, that person's going to already be on the defense. And I think it's going to be hard to get through to that person, because I just feel like they're going to always bring up, well, just ask the kid. Ask the kid. Like she not upset. Like she's happy here. You know what I mean? So I think you have to bring in some form of mediation. I would have first tried to yo, let's have a real conversation. This is what I'm feeling on my end. I want to get this off, because if I don't express this to you, I feel like we're not going to get anywhere. So like, I think you can have that initial meeting of like, yo, this is how I feel. This is what's going on. And if she ain't biting off of that, then I think you got to bring in some type of mediator, to have that conversation, bro, because even all of this is coming back on the child.
Yeah.
What's going to happen, either the child's going to continue to look at mom as like the angel and nothing happens, and she's going to keep looking at you like the opposing end, like you're always the problem. And all that's going to cause is confusion. Like even when she eventually get to a place of where she's old enough to know what's going on, then she's probably going to start looking at mom a certain type of way now.
Yeah.
So now the relationship is hurting on both sides from both parents, because as a child, I've like loved everything about my mom, and then I grew up and realized that mom was on some BS at some point. And now I'm looking at her type of way, but I'm also looking at you because you didn't fight for anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough situation to be in, bro. Like I know that has to be very hard on you as a father. But one thing I will say as a black father to another black father is, bro, don't give up on that. Like keep fighting the best way you can to get to a resolve, man, because it's only going to be for the betterment of y'all, of both of y'all's child. Y'all have to figure that out in some form, shape, form, or fashion, but don't quit. You know what I'm saying? Don't quit.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Prayers with you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate you sharing.
I think that's all we got, man.
Yeah.
Anything else? Closing remarks?
Good honest conversation tonight, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Great convo, bro. Like I think a much needed one too. Just taking that time out, bro. Like maybe homework. We're gonna start doing
Yeah,
some homework.
there you go.
Homework. No, fellas, like let's be intentional about hearing from God this week.
Yeah, man.
Whatever that looks like.
Whatever
for
that
you.
looks like for you.
Yeah.
And granted, you know, this is on this setting. I mean, y'all have heard enough episodes to know that we're men of faith.
Yeah.
You know, we have our beliefs. You may have yours, and they may vary from ours, and that's okay. At the end of the day, in this setting and in this culture, in the world that we're in, present here today, especially here in America, if you're listening from America, just make sure you're hearing something that's above you. Make sure you have a voice that you can trust, that's been proven, that is higher than your opinion, higher than your perspective, because you're probably going to need it in this season. You're going to need a little more than yourself. And if you believe in God, I hope that's who you're hearing from.
That's real. That's real. Well, hey, man, it's been the Black Man Think podcast where we elevate our black man because black men be out here thinking. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those good things, and subscribe to Patreon, bro. Go to Patreon.
You
got some
enjoy
dope
yourself.
stuff going over there. You gotta go to Patreon. All right, we'll see y'all next week.
The Black Men Think Podcast.